and project number such and such.
And the trees aren't on the
I just said
property,
yes.
correct?
Right, yeah.
That's an issue.
And then only 21 because apparently we also did in the budget, so thousands. Sure.
We are now live streaming. We have a couple more minutes till the meeting starts, till the work session starts.
Missy,
This one's wrong.
you can take 24 if you want. To the police?
24? Yeah, I'll do it.
Perfect.
Just put a me on there. You probably know this already, but if she's gonna, are you gonna be reading the names or are you?
No, she will.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Sweater season,
So
yeah.
just so
Yeah,
when you
sweater season.
want the suspended one. Me and,
No.
yeah, it's okay. I caught it this time.
He won and an
Who we
81,
were- okay.
but I worked
I
with
get
this
it.
with last meetings.
So you can hold on to this and she'll make sure.
No worries, I just was more of a brown.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Big embarrassment.
Very good. Thank you. Nothing's perfect.
Good.
How are you?
Hey, Sean.
Good.
How are you? All right.
Is it possible for me to disregard the resolutions and suggest that she resolution is that? How much? Just a little bit. So the one for LVAD.
No, I did the corner list. It doesn't say
I'd like to put in there like to expire on December 31st by giving
Very good. Very good. Okay.
just so that they understand we're just
Okay, so it's going to stay. It looks like.
to expire.
Oh, it's just about right around the corner. Okay. I always forget it there. Well, sometimes I'm on the bees. And so then I just swing around, pick it up.
It'll be the only one I say. Because normally it's a week. So I can't sponsor and there we go.
It was a short meeting today. It's probably the same way. There's one, it's a Heavenly Father, help us to engage in meaningful discussion. That's it.
Okay. I'd like to call the work session to order. Thank you all for being here for the town board work session for November 4th. I am the deputy supervisor also, so I am, will be running the meeting tonight. And this is Andrea Craig. She is the second deputy town clerk, and she will be helping us out as town clerk tonight. We have a presenter, Mr. Boyle, Tim Boyle. Thank you for being here.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to present. With me, I have Sean Hopkins, our attorney, and Kathleen Shabetta, who is our potential tenant. I'm here to discuss 5389 Genesee Street, currently operating as Alley Oops Restaurant. I work for the Newman family, Newman Properties. We have that property under contract to purchase, and we are looking to redo that restaurant. It's, as you can see on the second slide, it's that's a picture of the existing use. It's been there for quite some time. The next slide is an aerial photograph of the approximately 1.5 acre lot. It's currently zoned multifamily, multi-use.
Which is the blue.
Yes, which is the blue. We will require a special use permit and a site plan approval because we are looking to add a 30-foot by 60-foot outdoor cooking pavilion, which is
On the slide labeled concept site plan.
in addition to the outdoor pavilion. We're also looking to add 2 walk-in cooler and freezer boxes in between the pavilion and the existing building. The current building is 3,982 square feet. We are not looking to expand the footprint of that building at all. We're only looking to do the accessory structure and the coolers. We anticipate the project, when we're all done remodeling the restaurant, doing the site plan improvements, that we'll spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000. Again, as I mentioned, I have with me Kathleen Shavetta. Kathleen is, we've been in discussions for quite some time about occupying the property and presenting a reuse for the property, which would be more of a strictly food type of application. Kathleen, you want to speak for a second on what your idea is?
So just very briefly, if you're familiar with our operation, I don't want to assume that everyone is, but very similar to kind of what we do already. You may know we're a multi-generation family business, 4-generation family business, celebrating our 70th year this year. We do currently have a concept very similar to what we're talking about here, operating in Lockport. It's been operating for 15 years there. It's, for the purposes of this conversation, more or less 50-50, a quick service style takeout restaurant. So think your Chipotle's, your Core Life's, your Rachel's Mediterranean. You know, you go in, counter service, and either take it to go or eat in. And the other 50% is pick up and drop off catering. So more or less what we're talking about doing here, the one thing that is kind of missing from the structure that Tim already alluded to is a cook shelter. So if you've ever seen a Shavetta's Chicken Barbecue ever in your whole life, you know what we're talking about. It's that. You know, the assembled grill pit style cooking, we just need a covered shelter to do that outside. Tim also mentioned the cooler freezer outside. There is already existing walk-in cooler freezer space there. It's just not, it's not large enough for our use. Exactly, so we would be expanding what's already there, but very similar to what we do already.
And as it stands right now, Alley-Oops is scheduled to close probably first week in December.
And I will just say on a more personal note, we've been working with Tim's team for quite some time to find a building. Alley-Oops was not the first or second or even third place that we looked at, and I have to tell you, we just think the universe kind of brought us Tim in this spot because it's a long time owned single owner family business, and we're very appreciative of the work that that family has done there. Anything else you want me to say, Tim?
That's it.
And ultimately, obviously, we're very familiar with the review process. We'll work through Matt, but before we started down that path of all the preparation, the required plans, and spending that money, we wanted to come in and formally present it and see if any of you had any questions or input that we should be considering as we proceed with the approvals. And again, as attorney for the applicant, we're very thankful to have Shavetta's as part of this team. We think it'll be an excellent family use of that location.
I didn't know that you roasted the chickens outside during all different weather. Wow.
We're like the post office. Rain, sleet, snow, whatever. We cook about 364 days a year in all conditions.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when I drive through the intersection of Harris Hill and Genesee, I should roll down my window.
You should, exactly. That's what we're looking for. It's good for business.
Does anyone have any questions?
I'm just happy I won't have to go to Lockport.
I know, I'm excited, yeah.
Save you some miles.
Save me some miles or pick it up on the way from the base back home out this way.
Yeah.
Unless Sunday or Saturday, so. No, I'm excited.
I'm excited,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone have a great evening.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, so tonight, we have 22 pre-filed, actually 23 pre-filed and one suspended resolution. I see that we are pulling resolution number 15. Because of the, we're just at quorum this evening. If there are any resolutions that you feel need more discussion with the whole group, please feel free to pull them to the next meeting. Whether you want to do it right now or you want to do it when you are
21, correct?
ready to
21.
read.
We're gonna also pull 21.
21, you said?
Yes. We'll wait until the whole board is here for that one.
Okay,
And then I'd like to make a verbiage change to one of them, if I may.
okay,
Resolution number 7,
okay.
the third paragraph, and after the word expire, I'd like to have on December 31st, 2024, to show that we're continuing the services through the December 31st
Very good.
date. Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So all of Supervisor Leary's resolutions will be sponsored by Councilmember Schroeder, and all of Councilmember Dickman's resolutions
Splitting.
will be split between Councilmember Studley and Councilmember Burkhart. Can you go through it and who's taking what? Number 3?
Me. And number 5. So I will do 3, 4, 5, 6,
24.
and 24, the suspended resolution.
And 24,
Yes.
the suspended.
And I've got 12 and 14.
And 14. Okay. That looks good. So how about department heads? Well, first of all, does anybody, any council members have any news or any reports, anything? No?
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, then let me go through the department heads. Let me start with Nick Swanson first, since it is it's going to be a budget meeting.
Good evening. I would recommend that the town board also pull resolution number 22, adopting the 2025 special districts budget. If they're going to pull resolution number 21, just feel like they should both be voted on at the same
Together.
time with the full town board present.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, so 21
Great.
and 22.
Okay.
Thank you.
Some updates on my end. We had the parks meeting 2 weeks ago. If any of the residents want to see the impact of the various, issuances, whether they're 7.5 million, 5 million, 2.5 million, I sent that over to Diane. It is on communications for everybody to see the impact based on tax values per $1,000 of assessed value. The payroll audit is ongoing. We are hoping to have everything wrapped up by November 15th. We've had the auditors in our office 3 days last week, 1 day today, and then hopefully Wednesday will be the last day. Lot of records to go through, full year of 2023. It's always fun. And that's about it. That's all I have for this one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nick.
Matt, do you have anything?
Yes, actually. I've tasked myself with providing updated applications for both site plan and subdivision review. I'll be presenting that to this board at some point on Wednesday. I just fell short with the time that's been allotted. I wasn't even able to get a stormwater report filed for the month of October. We're just off of the weekend of our daylight savings, and it's always a good reminder to not only check our batteries and our smoke detectors and our CO detectors, but also to get a good look at the properties that we're owning and maintaining, making sure drainage is proper, any backups any plans for emergency response. This is a good time of the year to focus on that before the event happens. So I'll be loading up a checklist of items to get a look at on a regular basis on the outside of the homes, particularly now with all the leaves falling all at one time. I'm sure there's going to be some drainage blockage and what have you. That's all. Thank you.
I noticed that you usually put something on the website, on the homepage. Will you be doing that also?
I will be. Again, we've been attending to other matters.
If you have it ready and you just can't get it on the website, please send it to the clerk's office.
I do. You'll get that Wednesday morning. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Ed?
Nothing exciting. Seabrook Road is back at DOT. They had comments, we've responded, and it's back in DOT. They said they should have their answers first part of this month. Ellicott Creek FEMA project, there were a batch of letters that were sent out from the supervisor's office to residents along the creek that to see if there was any interest in them providing property for flood benches. I took 4 or 5 calls today from the residents explaining what it was. So once they all respond back to the supervisor's office, then we can give that back to the consultant to work on their model. Bronk and Siebert is done. Erie Street water line is starting. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Bruce?
Probably a first that happened, right? Good evening, Honorable Town Board, Diane. Bruce Tutz, Parks, Recreation, Forestry Department. We'll start off with the park side. We're looking at next Tuesday to begin the dismantling of the playgrounds over at Westwood Park. So the Town of Concord will be sending some of their Highway Department on Tuesday morning. Also, John's not here, but the Highway Department will be helping our Parks and Rec crew with the dismantling. The other, that's on the smaller one for the Town of Concord, and the larger playground that's still on an auction until next week, Monday. So then a decision will be made once we get all the information on that. Heritage Trail will be closed starting in November 16th, hunting season, and it will reopen on January 2nd. So we'll get the press release to you, Diane, we'll make sure it's on the website and everything else. Along with, we'll have a press release for the dismantling of the playground as well. We have signs posted, but we'll get the word out on that as well.
When will they start with the new one, new playground?
The new one, we're still targeting early spring. So unless it's a super mild, I mean, it's a lot of that process is weather dependent. If we have a super mild December, January, but I would think realistically starting probably early in March.
Okay.
So there's a lot of pre-work to do before that, but that's what we're looking at. The recreation side, registration is open for youth basketball, wrestling, swim lessons, tennis, men's open basketball. So we're still getting the word out. We're doing email blasts through our Active network, which is our registration software. So we're still continuing that. We're doing Facebook, and we're also texting people that have participated in the past, as far as the parents. So that is continuing. We're a little bit behind on some of our numbers, but we're trying to catch up and go from there. On the forestry side, big week for our forestry. We're getting our fall planting trees. We're getting 100 trees delivered on Wednesday morning. So pretty much it's all in. A lot of our crew will be working on trees. We try to knock those out. We keep the trees, we mulch them, we water them, keep them, they're going dormant this time of year, but we want to keep them as well prepared for the ground as possible. So that starts this week, and like they mentioned, the parks referendum is tomorrow, so get out and vote.
The trees, how do you decide where they get planted?
If they're from the residents, and also trees that we've replaced, or dead trees, we ask them if they want a replacement when we pull them, and then there's some choice on the trees, but it's more based on the street and the bigger picture, so.
Great.
Do you have any that you're placing in the parks or anything?
The parks, the fund is really, we will, that's separate, Don, yeah. This is the street planning, and then we do plannings for the parks, for sure.
Thank you.
Yep, appreciate it, thank you.
Chief?
Good evening. I'm going to start off by given you the dog control report for October. If you bear with me for a second, I have to get it off my email. Okay, so for the month of October, dog control handled 27 complaints and responded to 27 calls or follow-ups. They handed out 33 compliance notices. They addressed 5 bite reports, 3 dangerous dog complaints, and they had 5 dogs redeemed, and 1 dog was transferred to a rescue. And that is all the activity I have for October for dog control. I don't really have anything to report for the police department tonight, but I will encourage the board to monitor the weather. I'm looking at the weather myself, and as of right now, going through the 15th when the parking ban is supposed to take into effect, the weather is still going to be quite warm, so I would encourage the board to consider extending the parking ban out to when it's truly needed. We'll make the same recommendation to the village board. We will obviously keep monitoring what the weather's going to be like, and if there is a need, we'll obviously reach out to the board to let you know. But the longer, I guess, we can put it off, the better for the residents.
John might be able to put it out on that, the town app too. Yeah.
It's ultimately up to the board to make the decision if that's what we're going to do. So I would support it if that's what you wish to do. So that's all I have tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Carmen?
The camera back here, I got a text message, is just on Dawn and Melissa.
Jeez, did I comb the back of my hair? Yeah.
As you're doing that, I'll make it quick. So we had the gutters, downspouts replaced on Town Hall today. Matt, thank you for the referral for the company. They did an awesome job. 2 of the gutters were clogged, solid, so that hopefully will eliminate the mess in the back. We had the pillars and the historical replaced. They about almost $4,000 there. Had a different company do it. Historical Society's happy. We had concrete, I don't know if you guys noticed when you walked in, there's no more step underneath the little arch. So that safety issue is taken care of. Library's going slow. I met with them. Melissa, maybe we'll meet or figure something out with them, call them in on a meeting.
Okay.
It's up to you, but I know they're not happy over there. We started the LED project at police, a little bright in there, but they like it. As soon as you guys are done tonight, I'm going to be tearing this room apart for the elections because 3 of our buildings are rented for elections. Met with mental health. They were pretty happy. We got most of the stuff done. Some things we're going to wait till next year. Attorney's office, we moved that big filing cabinet. 4 guys. Took us about 4 hours to move. Company that installed it wanted $16,000 to move it. We did it ourselves in 4 hours with 4 guys. And I think that's about it.
Thank you. Thank you, Carmen.
Thanks, Carmen.
John Trojanowski, I think I saw you back there.
Good evening. I'm going to talk about our holiday assistance programs that we will be providing to families in need, either during Thanksgiving or at the Christmas holiday season. These programs are solely funded through donations of food, clothing, toys, and monetary donations. This year, the Lancaster Food Pantry will be providing the turkeys to each of the families. On Friday, November 22nd, turkey and things to make a meal for Thanksgiving will be provided to families that reside in the Lancaster Depew School District. that have children under the age of 21. All the families have to do is contact the Youth Bureau, provide their family information, and they have to do this by November 15th. On December 17th, we will be having all kinds of community members, students from all of the Lancaster Depew schools. We will be wrapping children's gifts and putting together holiday meals for families who are in need. And at Christmas time, families have to be eligible for SNAP. That's the food stamp program. In order to participate in the program, they have to be eligible for that type of assistance. Proof of income and ID are needed, and they need to apply in person at the Youth Bureau. Deadline for that is December 10th.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Is there anyone that I missed? Okay.
Can I add to some of John's?
Of course, please do.
So I want to thank John for coming up and speaking about those things, but also I just wanted to add that there is a program through the Youth Bureau for where children can send their letters to Santa to the Youth Bureau. Not going to say much more on that, but please feel free to look into that. And also, it's probably sold out. Please correct me, John. But are the pictures with Santa?
No, I believe there's at least 16 spots open still.
Okay. And then also the Youth Bureau is doing photos with Santa towards the end of the month as well. So just wanted to add those two things out there.
Thank you, thank you. So like I said before, let's see, we had 23, we're pulling 3, so we have 20 resolutions. We have 1 suspended resolution, no public hearings, no executive sessions, no one to close in memory of, no public hearings, unless somebody has something else to add. We'll take a 6 or 7 minute break until the start of the meeting.
Okay.
Okay? And just to make sure that you all know in the audience, we are being live streamed, and that will continue until the end of the town board meeting. Thank you.
They're up in our office. Well, you don't. Well, if you don't have it, don't. It's fine. I don't know.
Oh, you have a phone call?
Okay. Yeah. So. That normally makes the copies on
I'll check.
Okay.
Make sure.
Well, you guys did it. You came out in mass.
Good. Yeah, no, don't make copies. I didn't know. Because for a while they take it. They take a second. Don't. No worries. You should be getting it. I'd like to be able to follow along. Yes. Maybe, yeah. Because I'm in the office. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure. No, you're fine. The cameras are pretty high, so I don't think you'll get a lot of it.
No, you're fine.
So we are. Katie's good. Katie's good. It could have been worse. I got more here.
Well, there's a thing. Was it, with the planning board doing anything with our general?
Yeah, this was, yeah.
So the next planning board meeting, they're gonna have. Yeah. So that's really good. So for the next planning board meeting. Well, let me see. Do they? That's like, you can just show up.
Oh, we got a full house tonight. Awesome. Hey, another minute.
Well, we don't.
Not done yet?
They're already on the DOT.
Did you? Really watching it. Have a similar beer. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's meeting number 22, the November 4th, 2024 Town Board meeting. Can I have roll call, please?
Councilmember Burkhardt,
Here.
Councilmember Dickman, Councilmember Schroeder.
Here.
Councilmember Studley.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Terranova.
Here. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Councilmember Burkhardt.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
Father in heaven, we ask for your guidance and wisdom to help us make the right decisions in this meeting.
Thank you. The town board will hear concerns of persons desiring to address the town board on any pre-filed or proposed suspended resolutions at this time. Any subject matter that is not on a pre-filed resolution You will have a chance to speak on that at the end of the meeting. You need to raise your hand, give your name and address to the Deputy Town Clerk at the microphone, speak directly into the microphone, and you have usually about 5 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to speak on a pre-filed resolution? I asked twice, and I asked 3 times. Okay, very good. We have no public hearings. Do we have any official reports?
None tonight.
No.
No.
Okay, thank you. Any reports of town board committees?
Not tonight.
Okay, so we're going to move right on. Councilmember Schroeder, Resolution 1 and 2, please.
Okay. Thank you. Deputy Supervisor, thank you, Deputy Supervisor Terranova. I move resolution number 1, resolve that the minutes of the regular meeting of the town board held October 21st, 2024 be and are hereby affirmed.
May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
And thank you. Move on to resolution number 2. I move resolve that the following audited claims be and are hereby ordered, paid from their respective accounts as per abstract to be filed in the office of the town clerk by the supervisor's office, to wit, check run number 110-42024, total amount hereby authorized to be paid $270,767.52.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Resolution 3, 4, and 5 at 6. Councilmember Studley.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor Terranova and Honorable Town Board. I offer resolutions 3 through 6 for adoption. Number 3, resolved that the following building permit applications be and are hereby reaffirmed. There are 37 in the town and 9 in the village. Now therefore be it resolved that the building permit applications herein coded CSW for conditional sidewalk waiver be and are hereby reaffirmed with a waiver of the town ordinance required for sidewalks. However, the waiver is granted upon the express condition that the town of Lancaster at any future date reserves the right to order sidewalk installation at the expense of the property owner.
May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes. I offer now resolution number 4. Whereas by letter received on October 9th, 2024, the property owner of 196 Siebert Road has requested that the town board waive the requirement for the installation of sidewalks as stated in section 310-12B1 of the town code. And whereas after reviewing the project and considering the opinion of Councilmember Studley expressed in her email dated October 22nd, 2024, recommending approval of this request in order to maintain consistency with the existing character of the area, the town board has determined that this to be a reasonable request. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the town board of the town of Lancaster hereby exercises its right as stated in section 310-12B1 of the town code and grants a waiver of the requirement for the installation of sidewalks along the street frontage for a lot located at 196 Siebert Road within the town of Lancaster and is conditioned as follows. This waiver is granted upon the express condition effective that at any future date, the town of Lancaster reserves the right to order sidewalk installation at the sole expense of the property owner.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
No.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
And I do want to point out that we have a constituted board of 5 members. It doesn't matter how many members are here, just as long as we have a quorum, which we do today. So in order for something to pass, we need 3 votes, which we do not, so that does not pass. Thank you.
Resolution 5, whereas the town board of the town of Lancaster held a public hearing on November 2nd, 2020, pursuant to Chapter 400 Zoning, Article 9, Administration and Enforcement, Section 478 special use permits of the town code of the town of Lancaster, and upon the application of Joseph, I'm going to need some help here.
Chika.
I'm sorry?
Chika.
What he said, for special use permit for the home or occupation of vehicle repair on premises located at 151 Schwartz Road in Lancaster. Whereas by letter dated October 21st, 2024, Matt Fischione, Code Enforcement Officer, has requested that the town board renew the special use permit for an additional 2-year period. And whereas Matt Fischione, Code Enforcement Officer, has completed an on-site inspection and found the property compliant to the original conditions of the special use permit. Now therefore, be it resolved as follows. Pursuant to Chapter 400, the zoning codes entitled Home Occupations of the Town Code of the Town of Lancaster, the Town Board does hereby grant a renewal of the special use permit for a home occupation vehicle repair on the premises located at 151 Schwartz Road upon the terms and conditions as set forth in the zoning ordinance for the period November 16th, 2024, up to and including November 15th, 2026. And the applicant will continue in compliance with the conditions as set forth in the town code of the town of Lancaster for as long as the applicant continues to engage in the home occupation on the premises, and to any additional conditions listed herein, namely, and there are 4 of them, only persons residing on the premises shall be engaged in such occupation. There shall be no change in the outside appearance of the building or premises or visible evidence of the conduct of such home occupation. Applicant shall provide a copy of the business New York State Federal Tax ID number and a copy of invalid driver's license with each renewal, and the special use permit must be renewed every 2 years at no additional cost to the applicant. Renewal is considered upon the property owner submitting a written request to the town clerk on or before November 15th, 2026.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes. And resolution number 6, whereas Community Showcase Banners, 130 East Main Street in Rochester has agreed to amend the current agreement with the town of Lancaster, and whereas the town board and Community Showcase Banners has agreed to amend the agreement in regard to the location of and damage and replacement of displayed banners within the town of Lancaster, and whereas Community Showcase Banners place banners in state right-of-ways without the permission of the New York State Department of Transportation, and whereas the New York State DOT gave notice to the Community Showcase Banners to remove the offending banners, and when Community Showcase Banners failed to do so, New York State DOT removed the offending banners. And whereas the original agreement with Community Showcase Banners was executed by former Supervisor Ruffino on July 28th, 2023 for a 3-year term without initial approval from the town board, and whereas the town board would now like to correct the error of the former supervisor and approve the original executed agreement retroactive to July 28th, 2023, as well as amend the same for the benefit of the town and the local business sponsoring the banners. Now therefore be it resolved that after due review and consideration, the town board of the town of Lancaster deems it in the public interest to retroactively approve the 2023 agreement and to amend the current agreement with the Community Showcase Banners to allow the existing banners to be placed in Westwood Park and requiring replacement or removal of damaged banners with the amendment of this agreement commencing upon full execution. Be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Lancaster hereby authorizes the town supervisor to execute the amendment to Community Showcase Banners.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Dickman. Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder, 7 through 11, please.
Wow, here we go. Honorable Board, I move resolution number 7. Whereas the current agreement with the Lancaster Volunteer Ambulance Corps, LVAC, is set to automatically renew on December 31st, 2024, and whereas the town board has previously put forth an RFP for pre-hospital emergency medical service providers and is currently accepting proposals, And whereas the town board, in light of the open RFP, has decided to allow the current agreement with LVAC to expire on December 31st, 2024 by giving notice of termination, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Lancaster hereby authorizes and directs the town supervisor, Robert E. Leary, to send a termination letter to LVAC providing 45 days notice to terminate and non-renew the agreement.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes. Before you, I'm going to turn the fans on.
Oh, sure. Sure.
I'm going to turn the fans on for those of you that might be.
With all our hot air going up here.
Do you want those too, or?
Yeah, no, papers will fly.
All right. Honorable Board, I move resolution number 8. Whereas James Maas and Jacqueline Maas Bennett submitted an application on behalf of the Event Center for a special use permit for an event center facility located at 5309 Genesee Street in the town of Lancaster, New York. Whereas Chapter 400 zoning article administration and enforcement, Section 478 special use permits of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires that the town board conduct a public hearing before the issuance of a special use permit for a use as proposed. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to Section 400-78 of the zoning code of the Town of Lancaster, a public hearing on the proposed special use permit for an event center facility located at 5309 Genesee Street in the town of Lancaster, New York, will be held at the Town Hall, 21 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, on the 2nd day of December 2024 at 7:05 p.m. local time, and that notice of said time and place of such hearing be published in the official newspaper of general circulation in said town and be posted on the town bulletin board, and that a copy of such notice of hearing be referred to the Erie County Department of Planning pursuant to Section 239M of the General Municipal Law, which notice shall be in the form attached hereto and made a part thereof.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Okay, Honorable Town Board, I move resolution number 9. Whereas Ralph Larigo Esquire, on behalf of his client, Lionel Rupi Jr., submitted an application for the proposed minor subdivision preliminary plat on an approximate plus or minus 3.5 acre parcel located at 647 Ransom Road in the town of Lancaster, in which 2 lots were created. Submittal contained a survey as prepared by Nussbaumer and Clark, dated July 3rd, 2018, and received by the Town of Lancaster Building Department, and legal descriptions, Schedule A and B. And whereas the town, acting as lead agency, duly considered the request for the project, including the recommendation of the Town of Lancaster Planning Board in conformance with SEQR, State Environment Quality Review Regulations, and on September 18th, 2023, the Town Board issued a negative declaration, and whereas the Planning Board held a public hearing, which was advertised in the Lancaster Bee on November 23rd, 2023, and the public hearing was held on December 6th, 2023, and whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals granted variances for relief of the code for 647 Ransom Road and 0 Ransom Road with conditions on October 10th, 2024, and whereas the Planning Board recommended to the Town Board on October 16th, 2024, the approval of the Lionel Rupi Jr. 2-lot minor subdivision preliminary plat plan as submitted and in conformance with the town building and zoning codes. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby approves the Lionel Rupi Jr. 2-lot minor subdivision preliminary plat plan submitted by Ralph Larigo Esquire, survey prepared by Nussbaumer and Clark, dated July 3rd, 2018, and legal descriptions, Schedule A and B.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Honorable Board members, I move resolution number 10. Whereas Kyle Whalen submitted an application on behalf of Eurocharge New York for a special use permit for a garage shop space commercial use located at 515 Pavement Road, Building 1, Suite 12 to 14 in the town of Lancaster, New York. Whereas Chapter 400 zoning, administration and enforcement, Section 400-78 special use permits of the Code of the Town of Lancaster requires that the town board conduct a public hearing before the issuance of a special use permit for a use as proposed. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to Section 400-78 of the zoning code of the Town of Lancaster, a public hearing on the proposed special use permit for a garage shop space commercial use located at 515 Pavement Road, Building 1, Suite 12 to 14 in the town of Lancaster will be held at Town Hall, 21 Central Avenue, Lancaster, New York, on the 18th day of November, 2024 at 7:05 p.m. local time, and that notice of said time and place of such hearing be published in the official newspaper of general circulation in said town and be posted on the town bulletin board, and that a copy of such notice of hearing be referred to in the Erie County Department of Planning pursuant to Section 239M of the General Municipal Law, which notice shall be in the form attached hereto and made a part thereof.
May I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Honorable Board, I again move resolution number 11. Whereas on October 7th, 2024, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster adopted a resolution appointing Ronald Capozzi of Depew, New York, to the position of Assistant Code Enforcement Officer within the town's building department, and whereas due to an administrative error, the salary was incorrectly listed as 85% of $68,148.28 and should have been 85% of $66,157. Now therefore be it resolved that the resolution adopted October 7th, 2024, appointing Ronald Capozzi of Depew, New York, to the position of Assistant Code Enforcement Officer within the town's building department be and is hereby amended to accurately reflect the correct salary of 85% of $66,157. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect retroactively to October 21st, 2024, and the supervisor is authorized to take whatever action is necessary to implement the foregoing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Resolution number 12, Councilmember Burkhardt.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. Town Board, I'm offering resolution for adoption. Whereas Twin District Volunteer Fire Company, by letter received October 25th, 2024, has requested the addition of the following member to the roster of said fire association. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby confirms the addition to the membership of the Twin District Volunteer Fire Company the following individual: Michael McCombs.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Resolution number 13, Councilmember Schroeder.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. I move resolution number 13. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster has reviewed the 2025 tentative budget, which was presented on October 21st, 2024, and whereas pursuant to New York State Town Law, Section 106, after review of the presented tentative budget by the Town Board, any changes should be memorialized in writing via resolution and approved by a majority vote of the members of the Town Board, and whereas Supervisor Leary and the Town Council members have reviewed the proposed 2025 tentative budget submitted by Nicholas Swanson, Director of Finance and Administration, and is requesting the following change. Page 27, A7610, the programs for the aging, line item 100 wages, change the amount to $262,189. Now therefore be it resolved that the aforementioned modifications to the 2025 tentative budget be permitted following its or their adoption.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question?
I
On the-
just-
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to, you have the difference calculated?
I do not.
Okay, I can do it.
Back in my office.
Okay. It is 262. Nope, that's one. Oh my God. Phone updates. It's a difference of $3,618. So we're asking for an increase of $3,618 in this area. I just wanted everybody to be aware of that. That might be.
Well, actually, it's not going to that increase, or actually it was a maneuver of monies, is not going to increase the levy. So we're not going to increase from the tentative budget.
So did we take it from a different line item?
We took it from some other funds, yes.
Okay. Nick, can you get me that information? What funds we took that from? Yeah. Thank you.
Would you like to expound now? Because I don't know if we should discuss this until we discuss the other budget as a whole.
Sure. Supervisor Leary foregoes his 3% raise on his salary. He also foregoes taking the health insurance buyout, which he would be entitled to $5,400 a year. That's essentially where those funds would come from. It wouldn't be funds that the town's already warranted to pay based on the contracts.
Well, in lieu of that information on this,
Yeah.
I changed my vote to no, because the supervisor cannot just not take a raise and determine on his own where he could put that percentage. So I vote no,
Does anybody have anything else on the question?
without the town board knowing.
Okay, on the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt?
No.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
No.
Resolution number 14, Councilmember Burkhardt.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor and Honorable Town Board. I'm offering Resolution 14 for adoption. Whereas on May 6, 2024, the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster approved a resolution allowing Niagara Frontier Inspection Agency to conduct electrical inspections within the Town of Lancaster. And whereas on August 9, 2024, Niagara Frontier Inspection Agency performed a defective electrical inspection within the Town of Lancaster. And whereas on October 3rd, 2024, a letter was sent to Niagara Frontier Inspection Agency due to the defective inspection with a request for an action plan within 2 weeks for inspections going forward. And whereas Niagara Frontier Inspection Agency has failed to respond to the request to provide the town with an action plan, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Lancaster hereby revokes the authorization for Niagara Frontier Inspection Agency to conduct electrical inspections in the Town of Lancaster. And be it further resolved that the supervisor of the Town of Lancaster shall be authorized to take all necessary action to implement the foregoing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Resolution 15 was pulled. Resolution 16, Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes. Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. I move resolution number 16. Whereas by email dated October 28, 2024, Bruce Stutz, Park Troop Chief for the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department, has advised the Town Board that the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department no longer has use for the following playground equipment, and has requested that the Town Board therefore deem the items to be surplus equipment and permit them to be placed on an online auction. And whereas the Town Board has given due consideration to the request of Bruce Stutz, Park Crew Chief, and deems it in the public interest to declare the following equipment to be surplus equipment. There's a list of several things from climbing poles, spider climbers, and so on and so forth, different slides and curved climbers. I don't think you really want to go through the whole list and so forth. You understand it's all playground equipment. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster hereby declares the above described playground equipment to be surplus equipment and authorizes Bruce Stutz to place said equipment up for public bid at an online auction with Auctions International, 11167 Big Tree Road, East Aurora, retroactive to beginning October 28th, 2024, and concluding November 11th, 2024, with the funds received from said auction to be made payable to the Town of Lancaster and delivered to the Town Supervisor's office.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Resolution number 17, Councilmember Studley.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor and Honorable Board. I offer Resolution 17 for its adoption. Whereas by email dated October 29th, 2024, Director of Administration and Finance, Nick Swanson, has requested the recommended adjustments for the town's 2024 adopted budget. And whereas the recommended adjustments to the town's 2024 adopted budget will be used to pay multiple invoices for the Youth Bureau. There is an air purifier from Austin Air, which is $10,005.50. Laptops from Dell Technologies for $1632. A projector from B&H Photo and Electronics, that is $12.92.51. And then a stage drop from Rose Brand for $1,895.70. Whereas the purchase of the above-mentioned item satisfies the New York State OCFS grant requirements that was awarded to the Lancaster Youth Bureau. Now therefore be it resolved that the following budget amendments be and are hereby approved in the 2024 adopted budget of the town of Lancaster. So transferring $15,000 from our miscellaneous contractual account to the office furniture and equipment account in the Youth Bureau.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Resolution 18, Councilmember Schroeder.
Well, thank you, Deputy Supervisor. I move Resolution 18, whereas the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster has reviewed the 2025 tentative budget, which was presented on October 21st, 2024, and whereas pursuant to New York State Town Law, Section 106, after review of the presented tentative budget by the Town Board, any changes should be memorialized in writing via resolution and approved by a majority of the vote of the members of the Town Board. And whereas Supervisor Leary and the Town Council members have reviewed the proposed 2025 tentative budget submitted by Nicholas Swanson, Director of Finance Administration, and is requesting the following change. Below, there's several changes. Town Justice, $5,000 for overtime. Town Justice Longevity, $4,550. Town Justice Office Equipment, $7,000. Town Justice Repairs and Maintenance, $1,500. Town Justice Wages, $349,179. Special Lighting District, $92,000, and Special Lighting District Repairs and Maintenance, $60,000. Did you want to look up the differences in the Town Justice's wages there too? How much that was?
I'm not
Off the
going to.
tentative budget? Oh, just asking.
No, but I would ask Nick. Well, I should wait till you say on the question.
Now therefore be it resolved that the aforementioned modifications to the 2025 tentative budget be permitted following its or their adoption.
Can I have a second?
Second.
On the question?
That's where I would ask you.
Yes, so the town justices submitted a request that I missed, so those amounts that are satisfying their requested budget, so I would recommend adding those. It's a minimal increase, under $10,000. The appropriated fund balance for the street lighting district, after running more numbers, based on the September close, we are estimating that the fund has more of a fund balance on hand at the end of this year, and more could be used to essentially reduce the tax levy. So the tax levy will be reduced by $40,000 for the street lighting district. And then we increased $10,000 on repairs and maintenance line based on the current spend. We're going to come in around $60,000. We had $50,000, so we'd like to increase that to $60,000.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Resolution 19, Councilmember Burkhardt.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor and Honorable Town Board. I'm offering Resolution 19 for adoption. Whereas the Town Board of Lancaster approved the Bridge New York Culvert Local Project Agreement, Siebert Road Drainage Swale, contract number D041373 with the New York State Department of Transportation on February 5th, 2024. And whereas the New York State DOT is requesting to enter into a Bridge New York Local Project Agreement, Supplemental Agreement Number 1, for a total of $799,944, as this amount is the state share of the cost of the above referenced projects, preliminary engineering, design 1 through 6, and construction inspection phases, And whereas the supplemental agreement, number 1, supersedes the original agreement by removing the right-of-way incidentals and right-of-way acquisition phase and moving $26,605 to the construction inspection phase. And whereas the New York State DOT will reimburse the town of Lancaster for the state share of the cost of this project as the project is progressed. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Lancaster hereby authorizes the town supervisor to execute on behalf of the town of Lancaster the supplemental agreement number 1 for Bridge New York Culvert Local Project Agreement, Siebert Road Drainage Swale.
And let me just reiterate the right-of-way acquisition phase and moving $26,665. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Resolution 20, Councilmember Schroeder.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. I move Resolution 20, whereas the Erie County Water Authority has informed the town of Lancaster that 3 parcels of property located in the town of Lancaster have failed to pay water charges. Whereas pursuant to New York State Town Law, Section 108, and the direct service agreement between the town of Lancaster and the Erie County Water Authority, the town must re-levy the unpaid water charges onto the 2025 county town tax bills. And whereas the Erie County Water Authority has mailed notices to the delinquent property owners and said owners continue to be in default, now therefore be it resolved, number 1, the sum for the following parcels be relevied onto the 2025 county town tax for the below parcels for delinquent water charges. There's 3 parcels, Burley Drive, Parkdale, and Pleasant View Drive, totaling $1,003.08. This, number 2, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Resolutions 21 and 22 have been pulled for further discussion. Resolution number 23, Councilmember Schroeder.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. I move Resolution number 23, whereas Director of Administration and Finance Nicholas Swanson has approved the request from Town Justices Anthony J. Servey and David S. Stabler for the Town of Lancaster for the recommended adjustments to the town's 2024 adopted budget. Now therefore be it resolved that the following budget amendments be and are hereby approved in the 2024 adopted budget of the Town of Lancaster. Transferring $2,800 from problem-solving court supplies to professional services, transfer of $1,000 from travel and meal expense to professional services, transfer of $400 from repair and maintenance to miscellaneous contractual, and the transfer of $800 repair and maintenance to dues and subscriptions.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
Resolution 24 is a suspended resolution. Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes. Do I-
Councilmember Schroeder requested a suspension of the necessary rules for immediate consideration of the following resolution. Do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
I thought you were taking on the
Oh,
suspended
I'm
resolution. So
Yeah.
since she's
Okay.
taking on the suspended
Sorry.
resolution, so moved
Thank
from
you.
me to
Okay.
suspend the rules. Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Right.
Can I have a roll, please?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley? It's
Schroeder.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Studley?
Yes.
The suspension is granted.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor and Honorable Board. I offer Resolution 24, our suspended resolution for adoption. Whereas the Town of Lancaster and the Lancaster Police Department are proposing to install license plate reader equipment for law enforcement purposes only within state right-of-ways on or along Freeman Road at Transit Road, Genesee Street at Transit Road, Walden Avenue at Sheldon Avenue, Central Avenue at Commerce Parkway, Broadway at Irving, I always screw this one up, excuse me, Irvingwood Road, and Central Avenue at Broadway, Como Park at Transit Road, and Transit Road at Strasburg Road, located in the town of Lancaster, and whereas the town of Lancaster and the Lancaster Police Department are desirous to have such above-mentioned equipment installed within the geographical jurisdiction of the town of Lancaster, and whereas the town of Lancaster and the Lancaster Police Department will meet all state and municipal requirements during the above-mentioned project, and whereas the town of Lancaster and the Lancaster Police Department reserve the right to monitor and inspect the above-mentioned project conducted within the geographical jurisdiction of the town of Lancaster, and whereas the Lancaster Police Department will execute the above-mentioned project as shown on the plans, maps, and other documents related to the above-mentioned project, funded by the 2023 Governor of New York Grant for New Technology and Equipment to Prevent and Solve Crimes, improve public safety, apportioned and approved for the town of Lancaster or for the Lancaster Police Department. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Lancaster, by means of this resolution and upon New York State DOT approval, grants permission to the Lancaster Police Department to conduct the above-mentioned project within state right-of-way and within the geographical jurisdiction of the town. And be it further resolved that the Lancaster Police Department shall maintain or cause to be maintained the installed equipment at the project locations and shall cover any expenses that may arise from the executing of the above-mentioned project utilizing the above-mentioned grant or other municipal finding. And be it further resolved that the supervisor for the town of Lancaster has the authority to sign with the concurrence of the town's legal counsel and by the town board, and any and all documentation that may be necessary as a result of the above-mentioned project as it relates to the town of Lancaster. And be it further resolved that the clerk of the town of Lancaster is hereby directed to electronically transmit signed, sealed, notarized, stamped, and certified copies of the foregoing resolution to the Lancaster Police Department for processing of an inclusion to law enforcement equipment, application and agreement with the New York State DOT, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhardt.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Councilmember Studley.
Yes.
Now we come to the presentation of communications by the town clerk's office. Okay. 571, received and filed. 572, received and filed. 573, received and filed. 574, resolution tonight. 575, resolution October 21st of this year. 576, resolution tonight. 577, Planning and Zoning Committee. 578, resolution tonight. 579, Town Board. 580, resolution 102124. 581, resolution 102124. 582, Planning and Zoning Committee. 583, Planning and Zoning Committee. 584, resolution tonight. 585, Planning and Zoning Committee. 586, resolution tonight. 587, resolution tonight. 588, received and filed. 589, resolution tonight. 590, for resolution. Excuse me. 591, code enforcement. 592, received and filed. 593, received and filed. 594, resolution tonight. 595, Planning and Zoning Committee. 596, Planning and Zoning Committee. 597, Planning and Zoning Committee. 598, Planning and Zoning Committee. 599, received and filed. 600, Planning and Zoning Committee. 601, for resolution. 602, received and filed. 603, received and filed. 604, Planning and Zoning Committee. 605, resolution tonight. 606, Planning and Zoning Committee. 607, Planning and Zoning Committee. 608, Planning and Zoning Committee. 609 and 610, received and filed. So we've come to the time of the town board meeting where persons can address the board on any subject pertaining to the town. raise his or her hand to be recognized. You come up to the podium, speak into the podium your name and your address so that Andrea can take it down. Speak directly to the town board members, not to the audience. And you have 5 minutes that Councilmember Burkhart will be timing you. Okay, when you hear the bell, you're done. Is there anyone? Yes.
Good evening, board members and Deputy Supervisor. My name is Peter Semino, my wife Christina. We live at 2 Quail Run Lane, which is right outside Walden Avenue, right where that where they're proposing to build the Dollar General. Tonight I'm going to read off our reasons why we believe that this should not. We are strongly opposed against it. We're here tonight as concerned residents of Lancaster, particularly regarding the recent proposal to build a Dollar General store on Walden Avenue, near the entrance of our neighborhood of Quail Run Lane. We'd like to respectfully express our opposition to this project and offer several reasons why we believe it is not in the best interest of our community. Firstly, there are already $5 General stores within a relatively small radius of the proposed location. Stores are at local distances between 2.6, 3.1, 3.8, 5.9, and 6 miles. Another Dollar General seems unnecessary and redundant for the area. The proximity of these existing locations more than meets the needs of the community and nearby residents, leaving little justification for the addition of another store so close to the others. Our neighborhood is one that takes very great pride in the character and community spirit. Each year we host the Stony Brook Legendary Lights event during Christmas. My wife and I have resided there for almost 22 years, which has become a cherished tradition, drawing thousands of visitors and raising significant donations for local causes. We are concerned that introducing a Dollar General at the entrance to our community could diminish the overall integrity of the neighborhood and impact this beloved tradition. The store may alter the welcoming atmosphere that has helped make our neighborhood such a special place, especially during the holiday season. We'd like to emphasize that this opposition is about the business itself, as well as about maintaining the character and quality of life that makes our neighborhood unique. We understand that need for commercial development, but we believe this particular store in this particular location is not the right fit for the community. We moved to the town as opposed to the village to get away from commerce and retail stores. So adding this at the end of our neighborhood takes away from why we moved to the town in the first place. When the daycare was being proposed a few years back by the town, the town was against a curb cut on Quail Run. And for this Dollar General, it is the only option, so why would we allow this to bring traffic, such traffic including semis, delivery trucks, as well as customer traffic onto our street and into our neighborhood? This is a major issue that many residents have. For our property, we will directly be impacted for our value as well as the quality of life. We will be subjected to more noise, lighting, garbage smells that never were intended for the land next to us. Also, there will be added environmental concerns as trucks and cars and idling will go in and out during the deliveries at the store. There would be a higher risk of rodents due to the garbage that will be on site, as well as the noise that daily or semi-daily garbage pickups create. We also have many people turning around in our driveway if they miss the turn, as it's not as easy of a turn passing the large island in the center lane. We know that the current zoning we think that another location like where the old Save-A-Lot or the empty corner of Walden Central would be a better suited, as they are typically serve a rental population that can walk to and from the store, which our neighbor consists of single-family homes. Most of the families that signed the petition never shop or would shop at Dollar General. With the increase in traffic on this corner, getting out and into our neighborhood is difficult already with the new center lane and traffic light at Stony. This will lead to a lot of residents being stuck behind customers of the store, which no one really wants here. We respectfully urge you to reconsider the proposal for this Dollar General location and explore alternatives that would better align with the needs and desires of the neighborhood residents. With that being said, in just a week, we have over 190 signatures from residents just in our neighborhood that do not want this store here. And if we had more time, we probably would be over 200. So it's definitely something that they don't want. And I'd like to submit this, if possible, to whoever it is. I'll let my wife know.
Thank you, and also, I would recommend to go to the planning board.
Yes.
Get on there.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we need to submit that to them as well? I have a copy, I made like an electronic copy of that, just so I had it in case something were to happen.
If you'd like to send the electronic copy to me,
Yes.
then I will forward it on to the Secretary of the Planning Board
Thank you.
for her disbursement. And you can, I can give you my,
I know you're not hard to find. I appreciate that. Thank you for your time, all of you. Appreciate it.
I want to publicly thank all the neighbors for coming out here.
thank you. And you read very quickly.
I did.
I beat the 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
My kids are watching. It's perfect.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the town board? There's one in the back.
Good evening.
Good evening, Town Board, Deputy Supervisor. We are Joseph and Blanca here. We reside at 3 Quail Run. Want to thank the Town Board for many instances over the past years, taking care of zoning issues in the neighborhood, properly doing the right thing with the daycare center, addressing concerns when we call about the noise that the Orville's Corporation, when their dumpster came and was emptied at 4 a.m. every morning all summer. But the neighborhood is residential. The property that we're talking about, that we're all here concerned about, is not zoned for what they want to do, and we want to ask that you maintain the integrity of our neighborhood by not allowing any changes to that. I definitely have safety concerns with Walden Avenue and the access. There was talk of the curb cut for other businesses that weren't allowed to do it. The traffic on Walden right now is so bad. They've added the turning lane, and many people do not understand how to use that. There have been at least a half a dozen times where I've tried to make a turn. I used to worry turning into our neighborhood that I was going to get hit from behind because there wasn't a turning lane in Walden. Now I'm concerned because cars are using it as a passing lane. And I'm going to make a left into my neighborhood, and there's cars going in there trying to go around other vehicles. In addition, the way the intersection is constructed and the access that they've created between the public storage and Orville's, they have large trucks coming in and out of that driveway that also go back to the pallet store. And if we add more traffic coming in and out of our subdivision, someone is going to get killed. It is just a very dangerous thing. They tried to address it by adding lights on Stony. Adding more egress in and out of our neighborhood is not only going to be bad for the neighborhood, but it's going to be bad for the community because it isn't designed for it. It wasn't designed for it. So thank you for your time. Please, as these items come up, address them as the town was built and as it's supposed to be. I think it's important too, everybody who's here on behalf of our neighborhood, stand up so you can actually see how many of us, we're a strong neighborhood. And thank you for your time.
We have your name again.
Joseph Heary, H-E-A-R-Y.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Don't hurry.
Would you like to sit?
If you want to sit. No. You can sit.
I'll be right. So, J.T. Stouffer, 11 Hunters Drive. First, thanks for taking the time. Great to meet everybody. Thank you for anybody who's spoken, but you know what I look at this from? I look at this from a business point of view. And I heard a really great meeting today, and I heard really reasonable people talking about reasonable discussions. So I did a little research. Dollar General plans 800 stores this year as rival Dollar Tree pulls back. So interesting. So if Dollar Tree is pulling back, what makes Dollar General different than Dollar Tree? They even say 30 of those will be under its proposed Pop Shelf banner. However, listen to this. Though the discount retailer is taking the concept's expansion slowly, given discretionary focus. So what does that mean? Is this really going to last? If they're trying the Pop Shelf store, two things. There's the headwinds of the economy. Nobody knows where that's going to go. What we're talking about is long-term ramifications. So from a business point of view, it doesn't sound like the Pop Shelf banner is something that really could stand. So if we make the changes to the zoning laws that are permanent, and we're not against change, you can hear, Darlene has had a great daycare. We're not against change, but is it the right change? Reasonable change, because going back to what's different about Dollar General, as Pete said, I did a little research, and you can see the white, hang on, it's hard for me to turn. The white area, that's the density. It's basically downtown Buffalo. And you'll see there's 9 stores, and the white is housing. in our area, the green, so we would have 2 less stores than all of downtown Buffalo. And how much white do we have, which is population versus green? Does that, right? So from a growth perspective, I'll reiterate what Pete said. The farthest one away from that new one would be 4 miles, which is the one at where Genesee and Walden come together. You have the one on Broadway and Bowen. You have the one there. So in that case, what's the demographic that they're going against? Because I will say, I don't know if any one of us got any sort of market literature from Dollar General saying, what are our shopping habits? Are you going to leave Wegmans, Tops, Aldi's, Dashes, etc.? Are you going to leave those places? Because then in which case, how many people are going to be using that? And here's what I'll really talk about is, like we talked about, so if you're going to make a change, the headwinds are facing, they don't even know. They don't even know what's going to happen. So 2 things. They didn't do any research, at least from us. We know that, but here's the last one. Is it the right place to put that? From a business perspective, if they have that many Dollar Generals, why can't they just repurpose one of the ones? If you want to give the the Pop Shelf banner one, why don't you just repurpose one of those? Give that a whirl, see how that goes. Let that be the test place. Because I'm just going to leave this for one thing when everybody talks about the neighborhood. If you or us, and I shouldn't say, if a house became available in our neighborhood, would all 5 of you be the first ones to buy that house because you could go to that Dollar General? That's all I'm asking. Just reasonable business decision. Does it make the best business sense for Lancaster to potentially have an empty building that's just going to rot? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is Don Harder, H-A-R-D-E-R, 14 Hunters Drive in the Quail Run subdivision, and my wife Patty lives with me. At least she did. I don't know if I'm allowed to hand anything out to the board?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. What I want to address is the curb cut into the Quail Run subdivision and what Dollar General is proposing, which hopefully you will see that it really doesn't make any sense. In the presentation to the planning board, or to the town board, back in August, and also to the planning board recently in October, they stated that New York State DOT refuses to give them access from Walden Avenue. That is false. I have talked to the DOT, and the gentleman is Brian Kirby. He said that is their first choice. When there is a side street that is within the intersection, their first choice is not to give it to Walden Avenue for entrance and exit. They want to give it to the side street with less traffic. If you take a look at the diagram that I've given you, this is Dollar General's plan on page 5. And what I highlighted on the left-hand side of the page is a semi, which they did say they would use box trucks and small semis in order for deliveries, which could be every other day. So the semi shown here is coming into the subdivision from the west on Walden Avenue, turning into Quail Run. You'll notice the next highlight is next to the island, and then they're proposing that the truck would make a right-hand turn into their parking area. It would also continue that right-hand turn all the way to the front of their property line on Walden Avenue. That's a pretty sharp turn for a 73-foot wide, long truck. Then it would back up to back into the loading area at the rear of the store. While this maneuver is going on, people are going to be residents of Quail Run and Stony Brook are going to be trying to get into the subdivision. They will have to wait on Walden Avenue in order for the traffic to clear. And what I propose is the drivers aren't going to do this. The drivers are going to make it simple for themselves. They're going to pull past the entrance to the Dollar General, just north of it, which is in the residential area by Peter's house, and then back into the loading area. no driver is going to make all those turns. We have people from logistics here, and they will comply with my testimony. So what's going to happen is while that semi is sitting there backing up, maneuvering, all of the residential people coming into Quail Run and Stony Brook, because it enters into Stony Brook also, are going to be backed up where? On Walden Avenue. And as it's been stated, since the DOT changed Walden Avenue from a 4-lane to a 2 with a turning, center turning lane, it's been horrendous, really terrible. So now let's look at the truck leaving. And by the way, this is their delivery and their garbage pickup, because you'll notice that the dumpsters are at the rear of the store also, where the sanitation truck is going to have to back in again. It's not going to be able to pull in. It's going to back in. Or if it does pull in and lift the dumpster over the top, it has to back out. And it's going to back out into the Quail Run subdivision. So if you take a look at, on the right-hand side, you will see a truck semi leaving, and what they propose there is that the truck is going to pull straight out into Quail Run, make a left-hand turn, go up to Walden and make a left. This semi, being 73 foot long, will block any residential traffic from leaving the subdivision because it'll take up the whole area of the island. There's no way to get around it. So you're going to sit there and wait. And they're showing that the truck is going to make a right-hand turn. That's the best case scenario. What if it makes a left-hand turn? Now it really has to wait for traffic to clear on Walden Avenue. What I am proposing is that you as the town board, and we're going to go to the planning board, take a sincere look at what they're proposing. It's not realistic. It's benefiting them, and it has nothing to do with the residential people. But yet, they want us to shop at their store, which isn't going to happen, at least for our residents. So I appreciate your time. As mentioned before, you supported us when The Rock was looking to put a curb cut into Quail Run, and you denied that. And The Rock turned out to be pretty nice. And one thing that was upsetting watching the planning board video was that the plan.
Just sorry, yeah. Sorry,
Finish your thought.
Yeah.
Why don't get to, okay.
The planning board said that the big concern of the neighborhood was the appearance of the building. It wasn't the appearance of the building. It was the safety concern of the curb cut into Quail Run. It was also...
Your time is up. I didn't even get to talk.
You can raise your hand and you can, after you sit down.
Thank you.
You're a
for
separate
your-
person.
Thank you. Is there anyone? Yes, sir.
Hello, members of the board. My name is Brian Osika. I live at 30 Quail Run Lane. I am speaking to formally oppose the proposed Dollar General project near our neighborhood, specifically the request for a curb cut on Quail Run Lane and the significant reduction in required parking spaces. The proposed curb cut would not only facilitate commercial traffic into our residential neighborhood, but also increase safety concerns for our residents. Our neighborhood is already affected by increased traffic during the holidays for Stony Brook Shines charity, and adding tractor trailers and commercial vehicles would exacerbate this issue, compromising the safety and quality of the life we cherish. Moreover, the request to reduce the parking spaces from 100 to 35 raises red flags about the project's viability and its impact on our streets. We are concerned that insufficient parking will lead to further congestion and frustration for our residents who already face challenges with traffic during peak times. As you've heard already tonight, it's important to note that our neighborhood is united in its opposition to this project. We will not support the Dollar General, nor will we support the re-election of board members who endorse this proposal in its current form. Our community values safety, tranquility, and the well-being of our residents, and we urge you to consider the long-term consequences of allowing this project to proceed. Thank you for your attention to these critical concerns.
Thank you.
My name is Pat Harder, and I live at 14 Hunters Drive in the Quail Run subdivision. One of the things I would just like you, doing a little research, I would just like to suggest to the board that you do your own research in the numerous OSHA complaints against Dollar General. I'm sure if you Google it, it's really easy to find, and they have several complaints and fines for safety breakdowns, including blocked fire exits, unsafe conditions, and rat infestations. I don't think that's something that our neighborhood would like. Also, if you look at their consumer base, mostly it's for lower income people. And if you look at the assessments in our neighborhood, I think we're all at 400 plus or close to it. I think putting the Dollar General there would negatively impact the value of our property, which would maybe reduce our assessments and our taxes, because obviously our values are going to go down. So I just would like you to check out the OSHA complaints against them. I don't think that they would be a good neighbor and a good fit for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like? Yes, sir.
Evening, James Davey, 31 Quail Run. So I'm just going to key off of some of the points that have already been made. With regard to the safety aspect, one additional one is Dollar General forcing people to work alone during their shifts, which is an unsafe and OSHA violation. To JT's points about their business model, if you look at MarketWatch.com, you'll see that they've already reduced their expected revenues for this year. So how they're going to build 800 additional stores, I don't know. Placing this store directly in a central hub of the other 5 existing stores is only going to cannibalize the patronage of those other 5 stores. So it's not a question of stores going vacant and sitting, like dinosaurs. It's which one or which ones. Because if we have a 6th one in a 6-mile radius, they're not all viable. That's just the plain hard facts, and that's finances. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy Reed, 1 Quail Run Lane, Lancaster. So I'm right across the street from the property. And I just, everything that my neighbors have said is true. I also want to say that why would we patronize a business that is for their business when Wegmans, Tops, they give so much to the communities when you patronize their businesses. And as a community, we're not going to shop there. So that business would go down and we'd have a big empty box that variance has been given to, curb cuts that have been given to, and what could be there, or just a very vacant box sitting there.
I just want to say that they've gotten nothing so far. The board has not voted on anything. They haven't gotten curb cuts or anything.
True.
Just thought I'd point that.
Let's keep it, exactly, let's keep it that way. Because if they're banking on our community to, what would they need monthly to sustain that business? And we all know that Dollar General just goes around popping up, and whatever business does the best, they keep open, and the other one they let go. So it won't do any business in our neighborhood. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, thank you. Vincent Graber, 61 Quail Run. Just want to echo my neighbor's thoughts here. I have a 2-year-old son, so the safety issue is a big concern of me. Inviting additional commercial vehicles to our neighborhood is really just a terrible thought for somebody with a young son. There's a lot of kids around our neighborhood. I hate the additional safety concerns, thinking about that. Zoning is to prevent hardships, and doing that will create a significant hardship for our community. So I implore you to consider all of our words here tonight. Thank you.
Tony Dittmer for Kellyanne and Stony Brook Development. And we're here to support Quail Run. They're part of our community, and we feel very important that we support them. The other question, when getting the petitions, I had one guy, very interesting, he goes, "No way, I do not want it. But I own stock in the company." Something's funny there. When a guy that owns stock in the company doesn't want one by his neighborhood. That's all I have to say.
Your last name again? Your last name?
Dittmer, D-I-T-T-M-E-R.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jack Flanagan. I live at 2400 Drive, and I'd like to thank you all for giving me a moment of your time to hear what I have to say. I've been living here for 21 years, and I'm not surprised that I'm seeing many familiar faces here that are all like united as much as we are on this issue. Growing up, I've been able to live in a nice, clean neighborhood, lots of nice houses, and little traffic. Me and my friends growing up for years played in the streets, all up and down. And to think that the kids that are growing up there now would have to deal with like commercial traffic ripping up and down the road. People don't always go super slow when they're driving through neighborhoods if they're trying to go to the store or they're busy or something. Having all of that extra flow through the neighborhood, I feel would just be a net negative for everybody that lives there. I do not believe that many of the people sitting here, or anybody here really is super keen on like, oh yeah, there's a Dollar General right down the street, we can go shopping there frequently. As has been mentioned, there's like places like Wegmans or whatever that are just better for the type of people that live there. Having extra people parked up and down the street, like trying to get out is already a pain in the morning, with it being just 2 lanes now on Walden. And to think that like I'm like going to school or work or something and there's a truck sitting there in the way that's like doing some maneuver pulling in and out would just be quite frustrating. It would just be a detriment to everybody's day getting in and out. It's already slow. That's all I have to say on that. It would just increase traffic, basically reduce property value.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the town board? Yes, sir.
I must say, I've been to a lot of town board meetings. You actually have impressed me. My name is Paul Nosbus Jr. I live in the village of Lancaster on Newell Avenue. Thank you, Deputy Supervisor Diane. I will be talking about, this is regarding the town board meeting held on October 21st, 2024 with number 15 presented by Councilmember Burkhardt to authorize supervisor to execute memorandum of agreement with Civil Service Employees Association sick leave bank policy. The pre-filed resolution was tabled rightfully. I received more information that needs to be presented. This agreement is by and between the town of Lancaster, hereafter referred to the Town and Civil Service Employees Association, Inc., Local 1000, AFSCME, AFL/CIO, Town of Lancaster Highway Unit Local 815. Whereas it is the intent and purpose of the parties to set forth herein the basic agreement covering wages and terms and conditions of employment to be observed between the parties hereto. The important, very important, next lines are
The parties agree that all negotiable items have been discussed during the negotiations leading to this agreement, and therefore that negotiation will not be opened on any item, whether contained herein or not, until a new agreement contract is to be negotiated. Now, the CSA union contract with the town regarding the highway department, as you know, I've been in the UAW for 37 years. It is a collective bargaining agreement that is a quote-unquote written legal contract. Councilmember Burkhart, you spoke up about what the supervisor's doing with, he took his money, his increase in his salary, and gave it to split it all between the employees that work for the town of Lancaster. I commend him for that. But then you spoke on that you have opposition what he did because he didn't bring it to the town board. But here you are, you went on your own with the highway department head and try to pull a deal without the supervisor and or the rest of the council members here didn't know about. So you pull that out of the bag knowing that you did that, and knowing on the Field Stream subdivision you voted no with 2 other council members, broke the law on the town codes with its laws and regulations, but you want the supervisor of our town to be held accountable for being kind and not taking that salary increase. Like I said, kudos to him. I really respect somebody that thinks outside the box and thinks of his other employees within this town. But you don't agree to that. Shame on you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the town board? I'd like to commend all of you neighbors to being so community-minded, not only in bringing your views to the town board, but also everything that you do around the holidays and making it better for everyone, every resident in this town. Thank you. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Falling off my shoes.